I'll start with the simple yet classic lemon coconut cupcakes. I've got my pans ready here. I'll set those aside. I start with the dry ingredients. I sift everything into my bowl first, starting with 2½ cups of cake and pastry flour. And now I'll add a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of baking powder and ½ a teaspoon of salt. I'll sift this together. A little bit of lemon zest. I'll set that aside and get my wet ingredients ready. I've already squeezed a ¼ cup of lemon juice, so I'll add that to a separate bowl. And instead of using butter, I'll measure 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. I do love the taste of cakes made using buttermilk. 3/4 cup. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I have 2 eggs, but I only want to add the yolks to the wet mixture. And I'll separate the whites into my mixing bowl. I'll just give this a little whisk. And then this goes into the dry ingredients. Give it a stir. At this point, the batter will seem dense, and it is, but I'm gonna lighten it up by whipping my egg whites with a little more sugar. I'll gradually pour in ½ a cup of sugar and whip them until they're almost a soft peak. They will be really thick and glossy. And this I'll add all at once to the batter. Then it's time to portion it into your cupcake liners. I find an ice cream scoop makes the job just so tidy. And there we go. Now the cupcakes are ready for the oven, which I've preheated to 375, and they take 15 to 17 minutes to bake. Beautiful. I've already made a batch, and I let the cupcakes cool completely in the tin. That way, they're easy to move around, especially when it's time to get the buttercream frosting ready. I start with 3/4 cup of unsalted butter. I've pre-sifted 6 cups of icing sugar. So I'll start by adding just 2 cups of icing sugar. To smooth it out, you need to add a bit of liquid. I have 6 tablespoons of coconut milk. This now will help dissolve some of the icing sugar. This is also a perfect time to add my flavorings. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and just to bring out that coconut flavor a little more, ½ a teaspoon of coconut extract. Just a little soft, so I'll just add 1 more cup. Lovely. I've got a piping bag that is fitted with a large plain tip. I want to keep these cupcakes just simple and sweet. And I'll fill my bag with buttercream frosting. And now I'm ready to pipe. When you hold your piping bag, you want to give it a twist at the top and squeeze from the top. That way the warmth of your hand won't melt your buttercream. I think I got in the habit in the bakery of always putting a visual cue as to what flavor is within the cupcake. So the finishing touch to these cupcakes, a little sprinkling of sweet coconut right on top. Just so pretty and so sweet.